Welcome to How to Save Your Marriage with Nicola Beer, a full show of tips and practical strategies to repair, rebuild, and strengthen your relationship. If you are currently stuck, wondering if your marriage can be saved, or you know you want to save it but don't know how to go about changing it, this show is for you. To book your free marriage strategy session with Nicola, get the free marriage ebook or donate. If you are enjoying the show and want to help keep it flowing, visit www.nicolabeer.com.
Hi and welcome, this is Nicola Beer and I'm so excited that you're listening to this episode because it's really important and I'm going to be sharing about how to express your feelings. And this is actually a two-part podcast, so this is part one and I'm going to create another one because there's so much content I wanted to give and I didn't want to just squash it all into one. So I'm going to be sharing how to be more emotionally available in your relationship. And the reason for this is because many men will hire me after their wife has complained several times about them being emotionally shut off, wanting to separate from them. They come to me because they want to learn how to start expressing their feelings, how to share their emotions, and how to meet their wife's emotional intimacy needs to save the marriage. And it's not always men. I often have women coming to me as well saying that they are not being emotionally honest in their relationship. They are not expressing their feelings. They're too scared or they don't know how to. And they want to change this because they feel that they're not being their true selves. And it's a real shame when we're not our true selves in a relationship. And the reason that it's such a shame is because part of the beauty of enjoying a relationship, being in a relationship, is having someone to accept you exactly the way you are, loving you for the way that you are, supporting you for the way that you are. This is really what can help us to feel great inside and really make that huge difference in our lives. Because when one or both in a marriage bottle up their feelings over time, it will do significant damage to the relationship. Because when we hold things in that bother us, resentment builds up and builds up until a person explodes and does or says something extremely detrimental to the relationship. In fact, over 50% of the people who come to me for anger management counselling have been bottling everything up for years and then, like a pressure cooker, find themselves exploding and blowing their top off. They get so worked up that they shock those around them and they even shock themselves. Others that come to me for anger management treatment do so because they're constantly angry and they cannot let go of the anger. And they too can also learn and benefit from learning how to tap into and expressing their true feelings and emotions. As often, anger is a mask. So whilst they might believe that they are expressing themselves daily, every time they get angry, they aren't. Because what actually lies beneath the anger is hurt, regret, disappointment, fear, and anxiety. And when this is not expressed, only anger is, the relationship is full of aggression, full of conflict, full of resentment, and the differences do not get resolved because the real issues are not being expressed and dealt with, if that makes sense. So anger is an emotion that you feel it, you express it, it should be gone. If anger is there all the time, that means you're not in anger, you're in a drama. You're in a story of why you have the anger. You're in a story of the hurt, the pain. But because you're not allowing yourself to see the hurt and the pain or express that hurt and the pain, you're just caught in the anger. So if you want to let go of the anger, then it's about really going beneath the anger and looking at what are you really, really feeling. So I'm going to share a few tips today on how to get close to what you're feeling and how to start sharing what you're feeling. Because when you do this, you can have happier and healthier relationships. As expressing feelings in a safe way can lead to feeling closer and therefore is going to benefit you and the relationship. Especially when you express love, appreciation, joy, admiration and kindness. And if you're someone who's used to holding your relationships at a distance, if you're used to holding your emotions in, then you're probably listening to this thinking, yes, Nicola, this is easier said than done. It's not easy for me to express love, appreciation, my feelings. And that's exactly why I've created this audio. So, how to express your feelings in a relationship and become emotionally available is to get in touch with your feelings and say what you feel. The first thing is to go within first. It's important before you express your feelings to create some time to pause and to go within. Sit quietly somewhere for a few minutes and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? And where do I feel this in my body? And why does it matter to me? These really powerful 3 questions can help you. What am I really feeling? Where do I feel this in my body? Why does this matter to me? And especially the first question, what am I really feeling? And sometimes I like to put my hand on my heart and put my other hand on my stomach, because the gut and the heart is where we store our emotions mainly. So putting our hands there can help us to connect. What are we really feeling? And then it's acknowledging your feelings by stating, I feel. It's the most reliable way to express your feelings, the I feel statement. You fill in the blank with a feeling word. Words such as confused, I feel hurt, I feel worried. And if you're having trouble identifying the feeling, then you can connect with me on my Facebook personal page or my Facebook group, which is Relationship Advice and Tips with Nicola Beer, or my relationship Facebook page or my Instagram, and I will give you the list of 250 feeling words. And when I give this to individuals that I work with, they find it really useful just to get into the habit and just to read and circle, okay, which feeling or which few feelings are describing how I feel right now. So do reach out to me if you would like a copy of that. Because there are some words which are feeling words and some words which are more perceptions and judgments than actual feelings. For example, I feel hurt, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel scared, I feel lonely, I feel worried, I feel fearful, are all feeling words. Whereas I feel betrayed, I feel abandoned, I feel rejected, I feel humiliated, I feel isolated, are all beliefs. Each of these judgments keep us caught in our story into the drama, as they are all a subtle form of blame, of passive aggressiveness. Because to feel betrayed, you're saying someone has betrayed you. You're making a judgment that that person has betrayed you. Same with abandon, same with rejection. They're not feelings, they are perceptions and beliefs. And when we are not truly expressing our true emotions, when we're instead blaming or being passive aggressive in our feelings, the feelings stay with us. And the whole benefit of expressing our feelings is so that they can be released. And we need to stop blaming to fully let go of the anger, hurt and fear. David Richo, in his book is one of my favourite books. His book's called How to Be an Adult. You can get it on Amazon, it's amazing. He says that when we let go of anger, and anger can be expressed very quickly, when we let our anger out, after anger is deep, gutted sorrow. And I noticed that this is really true. For the individuals that I work with to support them to save their relationship, or if they've decided they want a divorce, to help them get through the divorce process, I noticed that there's anger, and then when we clear the anger, there's a grieving period, there's a sorrow, there's a sadness, there's a hurt, and then we can clear that and then help them to create a new life. And the same when I'm helping couples where there's been an incident of a betrayal, whether someone's had an affair, someone has been abusive, someone has betrayed their partner financially. or anything else that's happened in the relationship that's caused a lot of resentment, a lot of anger. Once we clear it, there is sadness. And then once we clear that, the relationship is just able to heal, they'll be able to feel closer, connected, and flourish. So it's really important to make the distinction between I feel and I feel that. We really want to avoid saying I feel that. The reason we want to avoid saying I feel that, and it's a huge common mistake that a lot of people make, is because what it actually does is it makes you go into a thought rather than a feeling. Let me give you some examples to illustrate this. Take the word or the sentence, I feel that we should go to bed at the same time. That is completely different to I feel frustrated when we go to bed at different times at night. In one case, it's stating a thought, in the other, a feeling. And you're much more likely to respond to the person that is expressing their feeling, I feel frustrated when we go to bed at different times, than to someone saying, well, I feel that we must or we should go to bed at the same time. Another example is, I feel that you are angry with me. This is actually a perception, which more accurately stated would be, I see you are angry with me, and therefore I feel sad, confused, hurt, angry, because that is actually really what the person is feeling, not I feel that you are angry at me, because that is not a feeling. I hope this is making sense. When we say I feel that, we state instead a thought, a belief, a perception, or a judgment, not an actual feeling. And thoughts are useful to share as well, but feelings also need to be expressed to be fully understood. Because if all we're doing is sharing thoughts, we're not going to be really sharing our most inner world with our partner. Especially if there's a problem, we need to be able to express our inner world so that it gets resolved. Because thoughts convey dry information, not the real feelings and the truth of what you're experiencing. So relationships definitely become closer when couples share their feelings, as they connect people far more easily and quickly. Sharing thoughts does not unite couples in the same way. Emotional connection is where you look inside, express your inner feelings, like I feel hopeful, I feel pleased, I feel wary, discouraged. All of those beautiful feeling words. Learning to distinguish your thoughts from your feelings is a really, really important step in your growth. And if you would like a list of over 250 feeling words that I mentioned earlier, do contact me on my Instagram, which is NicolaBeer1, or join me on Facebook, my Facebook page, my Facebook group, and I'll happily send them to you. One husband that I worked with to win back his wife's love after they separated and stopped divorce really studied these feeling words. He really took them on board and he started to express himself to his wife, and eventually, over a period of weeks and months, she came back. And he was delighted, and he got so into learning how to express himself and learning the communication that I go through with my clients, and really getting into how to transform your relationship and learning those relationship skills. And he messaged me and he said, Nicola, my wife keeps saying feeling words that aren't feeling words. What can I do? And I said, well, you can't actually do anything. You can encourage her to obviously do the same learnings that you have, but you can't actually point these out to her and it have a great result in the relationship. Of course you can if you want to, but who wants to be talking to someone and them saying, oh yeah, that's not a feeling word, that's not a feeling word. It's just going to create more anger and more hostility. So she can either do the training or you can just let this go. And he said that, he'll offer her both, and she's going to be doing the training once she puts her youngest child in nursery and she feels ready to learn the skills. So until then, he's going to be patient, because just because you now know what's a feeling word and what's not a feeling word, it's not a good idea to interrupt and stop people to say, this isn't a feeling word, this isn't a feeling word. But it's great for your own knowledge and it's great for your own expression, because when we express our feelings, we no longer carry them with us, and this is good for our health, it's good for our energy, because we're not carrying them with us, especially if it's negative emotions. And sharing positive feelings, sharing your love, your appreciation, your happiness is really going to benefit every single area of your life, and also create more because you're focusing on the great things that you want to attract. Learning how to express your feelings is great for your own reflection, your own growth and development. So the bottom line with this part is really that stating beliefs, perceptions, judgments and thoughts instead of your feelings don't really help the conversation. So when you tap into what do I feel, just ask yourself, is this a belief? Is this a perception? Is this a judgment? Is this the thought? Or is it what I'm really feeling? And then you should be great. The next thing to make sure you avoid is to avoid saying, you make me feel. This is probably one of the most common mistakes that a lot of people would make. You make me feel. In fact, it's one of the phrases that I hear time and time again in the relationship work that I do as a couples counsellor. And I do always go through the communication principles for great, harmonious, happy communication. And this is one of the things to really avoid. You make me feel. Because saying you make me feel can come across like an accusation, a statement of blame, rather than a statement of feelings. So imagine for a moment I say to you, you make me feel upset. You make me feel unattractive. You make me feel scared. It invites antagonism, defensiveness, retaliation from you, right? If I say that to you, you make me feel upset. You make me feel annoyed. You take it as an attack. Whereas if I said to you, I feel upset, I feel unattractive, I feel scared, then it's more likely that you're going to have empathy, compassion and concern for me and will hopefully want to help. So whenever I'm working with a couple online, I always make sure that we avoid that you make me feel. The other problem with saying you make me feel is that it takes all your power away, as it turns you into a victim without any control. And you're basically saying to yourself that you are stuck with your feelings unless they change. Unless your partner changes, you can't change your feelings. And therefore, not taking any responsibility for your own feelings. You make me feel statements can also induce guilt or shame in a partner. Saying you make me feel can be like saying, I want to punish you for this. It's your fault I am feeling this way. I want you to feel bad. And this is not helpful because generally one person alone does not make another person feel anything. As it's always a combination of what one person says or does and the other person's interpretation of the words or actions, if that makes sense. It's basically the meaning that you give it. For example, if you try to make me laugh by cracking a sarcastic joke, I might respond with mild amusement, or mild annoyance, or frustration, or with affection, depending on my own filters of whether I like you at that moment, whether I find sarcasm funny or not, and the mood I'm in that day. So how someone makes you feel is actually based mostly on your interpretation and the meaning. Now, I love sarcasm, I'm British, and this is what we do. So I find sarcasm really funny. But if my partner is saying something sarcastic after he's really upset me, then I'm not going to find it funny. In fact, I'm going to find it rude, I'm going to find it annoying. So it all depends on my mood, our own mood. It depends on how tired I am, actually. Tiredness is one of the biggest factors in being happy or not happy. So if you are struggling with a lack of sleep right now, then focus on getting some sleep. That's really, really going to help you to express yourself, to feel better, and to make the relationship better. And I know it's hard. A lot of people that I work with, I do a sleeping hypnotherapy for them to help them have deep night's sleep, to reprogram their mind to have deeper sleep. And consider doing something like this for yourself, getting yourself that gift of any tool that's going to help you to have deeper sleep, because this can affect 100% your mood, and then this is also going to affect your relationship and the way that you communicate, and also the feelings that you feel. So overall, what you feel is going to be a combination of what you say and do and what the other person is bringing to their way of viewing it and how they're feeling. So your response comes from you as well as what they have done. So this is really important to remember. Avoid I feel that. Avoid you make me feel. State what you feel and make sure it's not a belief, a perception, or a judgment. And if you're really unsure about what you feel, sit in silence and connect with yourself and really ask yourself, what do I feel? And if you're new to this and you want to learn more about it and you want to get the list of feeling words, then do get in touch with me. My Instagram is NicolaBeer1. You can reach me on Facebook, just put Nicola Beer, you'll see my Facebook page, my Facebook group, and my Facebook profile. And listen to part 2, where I'm going to be guiding you next on how to have a conversation where you're expressing your feelings. Thanks so much for listening, and do get in touch with me if you would like to learn more about my audio programs, or you would like to learn more about how to express yourself in the relationship. You can book a one-to-one call with me where we can discuss really how you can start to change through the power of having some counselling and coaching support. I would love to help you if you're willing to step into action and really ready to commit to yourself and commit to your life, because it's people that take action that get results. And you already know this because you're listening to this audio, you're taking action, you want more for your relationships, you want more for your life. And these are the people that I love to work with. People that are motivated, people that are ready and willing to learn new relationship skills and a whole new way of relating. So from my heart to yours, have an awesome week ahead. Take care.
Thank you for listening to How to Save Your Marriage with Nicola Beer. To book your free marriage strategy session today, you can visit www.nicolabeer.com, where you can also get the free marriage fixing ebook, request a topic for the show, and make a donation if the show has been of benefit to you and you want to help keep it going. We wish you an amazing love-filled day ahead.